Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your Ask First News Network. Your host, Sergeant Friday. I am devoid of a co-host tonight. There is no Cletus tonight. But welcome everybody, or anybody, all of us, none of us, some of us. You know. Ooh, let's see. We got a comment here. Well, hello, Lisa Vallejo. I think that's how you say that name. I'm terrible with names. Terrible. That's why I nickname everybody. I'm able to remember you through nicknames. If I'm fond enough for you to give you a nickname, that's the other catch-22 there. What up there, Joanne? Joanne, I do have a quaint little show on Karen Reed and probably other miscellaneous topics as they come through. There has been an alternate juror that has spoke up in the Karen Reed case. There's also been an interview with the state police when it comes to Trooper Michael Proctor's conduct in the Karen Reed trial. And yeah, it's interesting. I also put the mainstream media in there as a hashtag because the mainstream media is going to sell this woman's guilt, and they're going to skip over all of the chaos and all the lies and all of the blatant criminality that these police people took, law enforcement officers that not only have no idea what the law is, but then break it randomly, constantly, and intentionally to frame a woman for murder. That doesn't get put out to the public. But let's listen to this guy. And just because of the lack of questions, I think these people think that guy got fired, and he probably did. He got fired for the nasty, descriptive texts about Karen Reed, as a female. He did make some vulgar texts and comments to coworkers, right? And that's what they're going to focus on. They're not going to focus on he lied or he fabricated evidence or he didn't do his job properly. He didn't check people properly. He didn't interview the witnesses that mattered. He didn't. All of those other things that he didn't do and things that he did do that were criminal aren't going to be the focus of attention. The only attention this is going to get is those nasty, filthy texts he said about Karen Reed. And the whole public's going to walk around thinking Karen Reed's guilty. And this guy's crime was just that he was, I don't know what term they use for men like that nowadays. But anyway, let's see here if we can't present this short interview. Hopefully it'll come through. The head of Massachusetts State Police. That's who this is. There it is. Let's see how it plays.
Yeah, I think I've been very clear, and I want to remain very clear. Misconduct in any way, shape, or form of the Massachusetts State Police will not be tolerated. I think I've said that I condemn those comments in the strongest terms possible. They are not reflective of the Massachusetts State Police. That's not where we want to be as an organization. And I believe that we will certainly continue to monitor that and as we are moving through the process of our internal affairs investigation. Again, due process, we are evaluating that, looking at it. We're going to continue to investigate it. We have, as you know, initiated an internal affairs investigation early on in this process. Part of that is to monitor the case that was ongoing. We wanted to make sure we had all the information available to us through the trial process. I also want to point out that trial process currently is unresolved, and we have an open internal affairs investigation. So I'm not really in a place where I'm going to comment on that any further. I will say very generally that we monitored the criminal trial in an effort to get as much information as possible, as it may or may not reflect on members of the.
I do want to comment here. It's even on my side. If I play this directly and it's coming from CBS Boston, I can almost not. I can't hear the questions from the reporters. I can hear this guy, but I myself cannot hear the reporter's questions. So that is a bit irritating to say the very least. And, but again, I just still think this interview should be played so we can hear what he's saying. And it's my personal opinion that they're focused on the nasty texts that were described of Karen Reed instead of the criminality that all of these people and all of the policemen that didn't step up and actually turn their fellow co-policemen in. or didn't step up and refuse to be a part of this investigation. Okay, and didn't step up and demand to follow policies and procedures, right, on everything they did. If you're going to take a measuring tape and tell me how far away something is from a victim, you better damn well know where that victim is, okay, based on visual evidence, not someone's idea where it was or somebody telling you it was somewhere. You're an investigator. You shouldn't be asking anybody where the body is. You're a crime scene. You recreate crime scenes. You should be getting all the evidence and reviewing it and then looking at the crime scene or taking it with you to the crime scene to familiarize yourself with the photographs that should have been taken. You stupid son. Anyway, those are the things that should be getting investigated, folks. And I suspect strongly that they're going to just go after this guy because of the nasty things that were said in text messages. And it's a goddamn shame. And we, the public, these guys are going to come off looking like they're looking into each other, and they're not doing anything. They're building another blue wall around the blue wall that was exposed in court to be criminal, and now they're going to build a blue wall around that criminal behavior, and that's going to be criminal. But no one's going to call them out on it. This is going to become a thing of the past, and they're all going to focus on the retrial as to whether she's guilty or innocent. And that really, again, this is why I say over and over and over again, in all of these cases where someone's charged with a crime, I don't understand how moronic everybody is to think that they can solve innocence or guilt without first looking at the accusations. I don't fucking understand it. And if the accusations are all bullshit and effed up, then the discussion of guilt or innocence should never be part of the fucking process. This infuriates the living crap out of me, that people just aren't that fucking smart to understand that. I really don't give a fuck if she did this or not. I don't care if Brian Koberger did this or not. And yet, for some reason, I'm like an outlier, or I'm weird, or I'm fucking on the fringe, but I'm where you're supposed to be. Every one of these accused are innocent. And the only way to determine their guilt is for the government to put forward a case that goes beyond a reasonable doubt that they did it. There can be no doubt. And yet, nobody pays attention to that. And if they do, it's very sparingly, and then they jump right into whether this person did it or didn't do it. In the Koberger case and in this case, anybody that wants to figure out who did or who didn't do it is out of their goddamn mind. You're way out of bounds. You're not even supposed to be anywhere near that, because you've got to evaluate the accusations being brought forward. And if they're deficient, if they're faulty, okay, that's what you need to pay attention to. You no longer have a case that concerns yourself with innocent or guilt when your government misbehaves, or your government agents are ill-trained, your law enforcement officers are misbehaving, they're corrupt, they don't hold themselves and each other to a standard. That's the endemic corruption that Black Lives Matter tries telling you about. And look at how we all look at justice. We look at justice as to whether someone's innocent or guilty. And that is the outcome of a justice system that has to work on a just set of fucking instructions. And that doesn't happen in these cases. I mean, at this point, Brian Koberger shouldn't even have been arrested. None of their story in the PCA, not a single bit of it, puts him at that house. None of it. Actually, everything is exculpatory, meaning everything that they assumed was truth, okay, is actually, when looked at in an honest way, shows that it doesn't prove he was there. And the fact that the government swears under oath that the DNA or no IgG was used to obtain an arrest warrant, okay, means the only thing you can pay attention to is the fucking PCA. And yet, how many people ran around, oh, there's much more than the PCA. The PCA is just a small piece of it. Telling you all of this shit because they don't want to pay attention to facts. And all you can do is, I'm just perplexed, folks. I'm sorry. I'm just so stressed over stuff like this. It's almost like, how is it we have not been taught how to fucking think as a group of people? And there's millions of you out here. In all fairness, and most of you are fucking smart enough to understand what I'm sharing. But yet you'll leave here, or you'll go into other channels and you'll participate in all the bullshit that doesn't have any value whatsoever. And it doesn't do anything to fix anything. We shouldn't be arguing over whether Karen Reed is guilty or not. We should be arguing as to whether these police and these investigators aren't being charged, fired, terminated, and pensions canceled for the offenses they committed against an American citizen. That's what we should be working towards. Not whether the fuck the woman hit him or not. Same thing with Brian Kohlberger. There should be a loud voice in this community. There should be emails and communications with the people involved with his prosecution, demanding answers to obvious questions. If you always knew the car that was driving around the murder scene was not Brian Kohlberger, why is it used in the description of what Kohlberger did that night? Why are you alleging that you got video images and pictures of his vehicle in that area? Why? When you knew the whole time that wasn't his car. Those are the questions and the facts that we need to be discussing. That's any time we discuss the Idaho 4, that's what it should be centered upon. Not the grub truck or the band field or a reflection or some fucking sound you heard. Man. Same thing with the Karen Reed case. Now that we know what we know based on the trial and the malfeasance and the ignorance and the just unlikelihood that you smashed into someone's arm at 24 miles an hour and left injuries consistent with a dog attack. That's what a 73. So just be aware, folks. Don't worry about a 7,300-pound fucking SUV heading your way. Just hold your arm out. You'll be fine. You won't suffer bruises or broken bones or nothing, according to the fucking people, the people we have in charge of investigating fellow Americans. They're investigating your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your cousin. That's who they're going to investigate. And this is the kind of fucking skill these people apply to this job. Holy fuck. I wouldn't want these people making me a hamburger. And I love hamburger, even though it comes from the product of ground beef. I don't care if the car's got tinted windows. I don't care any of that. None of those facts have anything to do with it. They came out and told us the absolute truth. That car in that image is a 2011 to a 2013 Hyundai Elantra. That automatically tells you it can't be Brian Kohlberger's vehicle. They said that under oath. The guy that wrote the fucking PCA told us that. They also said under oath that there was no stalking of the victims by Brian Kohlberger. Okay? So that shit's out the window. Those 12 trips that holy fuck. I think I was the only one that said when he told us about when the police told us the 12 trips, I was the first and only person to get on the internet and say, well, there's Brian Kohlberger's alibi. Everything in that document is exculpatory to the defendant. The police can confirm his location 12 separate times. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to the PCA, you have to take it at what it says. And when the PCA tells you that there's a vehicle involved, okay? And prior to the PCA coming forward, you were told that there was a car around that house that they were looking to talk to, and it was 11 to 13. And you didn't accept that as fact, but it's because you don't know how to deal with information and fact. And the problem is the police in both of these things. The problem is the prosecution taking a case to trial, taking a case in front of a judge, in front of the cameras, that the police themselves did not manage properly, did not investigate properly, did not document properly, did not verify properly in any of these two cases, right? And what are we stuck talking about? We're stuck talking about the stuff like harsh Aryan nations and all of these other things. And it's just, fuck that, man. You know, that's not what we're supposed to be focused on in these cases. PCA is an affidavit to persuade a judge to provide an arrest warrant. It's got nothing to do with being biased, Angel. It's completely false. I don't care if it's biased or not. If you did it, it can only be biased. But that wouldn't be being. If there were photos of the guy at the house, those photos wouldn't be biased. But you're making claims and accusations against the man that have proven all to be false. Every one of them. So why was it in the PCA to begin with? You had to know what you were putting in there wasn't true. And here's the worst part. Why didn't you verify it before you put it in the PCA? That's what you're supposed to do. So bias has got nothing to do with this. Nothing. Zero to do with it. The nasty comments that this cop said about Karen Reed or other cops said about Karen Reed, it's got nothing to do with whether she committed this crime or not. But that does got everything to do with the mindset of the investigators, how they viewed her, how they looked at this crime, how they were convinced or they knew that this was the woman that did it, and how they mishandled their entire case. And then got on the stand and lied, manipulated video and lied with the video being manipulated. That's what's important in these cases, folks, not whether the perpetrator or not whether the suspect did it. Bias has got nothing to do with it, Angel. That doesn't. It's so far. I don't even know why you're using that word. It's got nothing to do with bias. Zero. They made statements and they lied. They created and painted a picture and they lied. Nothing about being biased. They just lied. I don't know why that's so hard to understand. If I say something bad about anybody, that's obviously biased. When you're impugning or disparaging somebody else, there's a bias there. That's obvious. It's got nothing to do with the criminal case. It's bias can be applied in every single thing we do. Yeah, do that. Man. Boy, I don't even know, Angel. Yeah. I'm absolutely smarter than you. As far as everyone, not everyone, but a vast amount of fucking people, I'm definitely smarter than fucking wheelbarrow fulls of them. Maybe most of the 5.62 billion fucking morons that get involved with the most powerful fucking device known to mankind and make everything fucking entertaining. Every tragedy, every fucking disaster, every fucking thing that happens, there's always got to be a tragedy pimp and people following the tragedy instead of following the information that would change the fucking world, make your life safer and nicer. You got ignorant fucking idiotic fucking cops, procedures and policies that aren't being followed all over the fucking country. Nobody wants to get into that. You want to decide whether fucking Karen Reed did it or not. Or they're biased against Brian Kohlberger. That's got nothing to do with what these fucking people are doing all over the country. Unbelievable. Oh my God. I don't even want you in here, Angel. You gotta go. I don't even want you in here. You're just a fucking annoyance. Anyway, folks. Yeah, I'm just stunned. I'm flabbergasted. We can reach out to millions of people. You got people like Tucker and all these other fucking guys. You know, there is a guy out there that finally did what I've been pointing out. I wish I could remember his name. He's a very intelligent man. He talks about the Anunnaki and the Sumerians, and he talks about a lot of ancient cultures and histories. And he goes even beyond what we're aware of as far as recorded record. He is, man, I wish his name. And I hate to just point out that he's black, but that's the only real thing I can say is he's black and he's fucking highly educated and he's real deep into this history of humanity. And he came out the other day spouting what I was spouting. Okay. And that is what do you say? That is that we all should start doing stuff and get together and do something that'll make a difference. And he started pointing that shit out. And I probably should have saved the clip where he was saying that because it was quite powerful what the guy was saying. And that's my point. We have all of this time and all of these resources. And we let these fucking people that post up here for clicks to make money to drag us down these fucking drama fucking holes and keep us in the drama holes. It's incredible. It's amazing. The entire thing on Twitter today, every fucking jerk off that's a jerk off I call them cuckold, criminal cuckolds are what most of the fucking Democratic Party are. They're criminal cuckolds. Okay. And so are the Republican Party. They're fucking criminal cuckolds as well. Because one does something completely fucking wrong and the other one keeps their mouth shut. You know, now they want to hire 13 justices instead of 9. And the bottom line is they all are fucked up. You want to hire 13 justices now. That way you can have seven liberal left-wing fucking lunatic judges against the 6 that are already there in the right wing. Fortunately for us, the right wing is actually interpreting the Constitution correctly. I've yet to see any of their rulings that didn't interpret the Constitution correctly, whether you agree with the ruling or not. Go read the Constitution up against what their agreement, what their final ruling is. And it's not politically biased. They're following the Constitution word for word. And if you don't like that, too fucking bad. And if you think they're not because you're convinced because everybody keeps telling you that they're not, and you believe that without looking into it, well, you're just another fucking idiot. You're part of the 5.62 billion that are going to be, wondering why the fuck there's no food and electricity anymore and watch your kids fucking starve because you're just too fucking stupid to read. You're too lazy to read, right? You're too lazy to figure this stuff out on your own. You come out here thinking these people on the internet are going to think for you, me included. I ain't thinking for any of this. I'm just pointing out how the fuck you're supposed to think and how you should figure this shit out yourself. And yet, no, not even close. Not even close. It's fucking insane. So let's get back to this fucking jackwagon right here. Here's a fucking guy. You got to trust this guy, right?
Massachusetts State Police and their conduct, and we wanted to make sure we had all of that before we made a decision. We also wanted to respect the trial process, and we want to be mindful of the ongoing internal affairs investigation.
So, you spoke about policies and procedures. What changes have been made or will be made to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, we're going to continue to look at this, and we are hyper-focused on that right now. We have been in a process for the past 16 months of evaluating places for improvement. We are very mindful that there are always improvements to be made on the Massachusetts State Police. We have drilled down and concentrated our efforts.
Can you the fuck imagine if you spent 16 months looking into this already? That stupid fuck on the screen, 16 months they've already dedicated to this, and all we know that's come from it is they suspended this guy. These are the people that represent the fucking Constitution of the United States, the constitutions of your state governments. These are the quality fucking people that we end up with. And where are the letters going to him, folks? Where are the emails? When are we going to start doing it? Who wants to step up and help design a web page or something? I don't give a fuck if I get 10 million users. I'm not up here to collect money and make money. But goddamn, where the fuck are the messages to the Boston State Police? How the fuck can you people run an investigation like that? How could you mishandle evidence like that? How could you go against experts that you guys employ telling you that this doesn't look like a car accident? And then hire an expert that'll agree with your thesis. How could you do that? What kind of fucking morons are you? What kind of criminal? What's your reward to put Karen in jail? To protect the other police friends that were in that house? To keep the real story from coming out? Yeah, okay, I get it. We see that. The general public won't see that because the mainstream media is not going to give that to them. And the reason the mainstream media is not going to give that to them is because people like you and I aren't doing a fucking thing about it. Imagine if these fucking people were starting to get emails and web pages put up against them, memes against the fucking cops that are doing the things they're doing, right? And you start fucking sending it and posting links to it on all these different Boston fucking websites. That's what we're supposed to do with the internet. That's an internet disobedience, but it's based on truth. It's based on fucking crimes these people are committed to put this woman in front of a jury. And earlier I saw on the lawyer, if you skip through his videos and get to the point, you'll find that an alternate jury, juror number 3, actually has talked to the media. Now, they weren't there during deliberations, but she says there wasn't enough evidence provided to go beyond a reasonable doubt that Karen Reed did this. So, there's a juror that may not have been in the deliberations room, but that watched the entire trial just like you and I and come to the same conclusion we've all come to. There is reasonable doubt here. And the reasonable doubt is based on all of the bullshit that we saw. And so what are we going to do now? Jump right back into whether Karen Reed is guilty or not guilty? It's a mistrial. How many more trials can they have? And we're going to focus on that and not on the criminality and the fucking bullshit job these people. Imagine if someone made your pizza like that. You would jump in your car and run back to that pizza shack so fucking fast that there's nothing in the world would be able to compare to yours. You'd be exceeding the speed of light. You'd be fucking breaking the limitation of light speed. Einstein's theory on the speed of light, which is unattainable by any object of mass, would be broken if the people making your fucking takeout food did what these people did in this particular criminal proceeding. If they handled your food that way, you wouldn't fucking tolerate it for an instant. But they're handling your country this way. Your state, your towns, your municipality, your cities. And what do we do as a group? Not a fucking thing. Because all of us will say there's nothing we can do. Because all of us have been fucking taught to be victims. We all want to be a victim. But I'll tell you, that victimhood can end pretty damn quickly. Right? Someone gives you the wrong change at the store, you ain't going to be no victim, are you? But anything else that you encounter, anything that you can actually add your voice to get something actually straightened out and fixed, or at least something addressed. I mean, every police officer that worked with every one of those police officers that did that, I guarantee not all of them are criminal, but I guarantee you that none of them would speak up. None of them are calling the other ones out. And how can you enforce the law if you can't actually enforce the rules amongst your coworkers? I mean, if you don't enforce the rules against your coworkers, if that's uncomfortable, then many of you are going to end up like these particular police, and you're going to lose your job. You're going to get fired. What up there, True Crime? You're welcome to come up if you'd like. How the hell do I get them up here? I got to click me a button. That's it. Come on up here there, True Dago. Yeah, to me, the tragedy is so fucking immense. And we sit back with this idea that we can do nothing, and that, more importantly, anything we do is going to amount to nothing. And, you listen to your whatever political party you're from, and you get this idea in your head, and it's just, oops, sorry there. There you go. Well, anyway, welcome there, Dago.
What's up, boss? How are you?
Well, I'm doing, actually, in all fairness, I'm doing awesome, bro.
That's always good to hear.
Nice couple hours. I take the rest of the week off till next Monday, and got a lot of things lined up for the future. And I'm loving life. Eating good. Actually broke my rule today and had me a nice Italian assorted submarine sandwich with some onions on it and lettuce.
You do love your food, don't you? You do love your food, sir.
I eat once a day, bro. I prize it. I really do.
You gotta make it good when you eat it. I get it. Yeah. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's about what I do too. Once a day. I don't eat breakfast. I eat like a very small something for lunch, and then I eat late. I always eat late. I'm not supposed to, but I do. Usually because I'm in here doing something with this, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, I eat usually between 3 and 4. Between 2 and 4, I'll have my one meal of the day. I stopped snacking at night. That was one of the main reasons I lost weight. I stopped eating bread. Today I did, but I don't eat bread. I used to eat a loaf or two a week. I love bread, but I did a few things and lost.
It's hard.
27 pounds quickly. I was losing on average a pound a day by staying away from the snacks and the bread.
That's what I've been doing. I've lost. Yep.
I took the water pills. I took that. Remember I told you for mucus relief? Yeah.
I've been taking Mucinex. I've been taking one of those a day.
I take 2 or 12 hours. They're 12 hours.
Every 12 hours. Well, yeah. I already take other meds, and I didn't want to overdo it with that. But I took your advice months ago when you said that, and it actually has helped, because we're both smokers and I have bad lungs and stuff like that, and it keeps that clear. And I say this much, I piss my brains out, but I've lost 68 pounds at this point over the past 5 months, I think it is. But here's the thing, I don't eat pasta anymore at all. It kills me, but I don't. And my bread has gone down to almost nothing, but I love sandwiches every now and again. And I don't do the crazy snacking like I used to. Late at night, I would grab some chips or whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's going away quickly. So,
a lot of people don't know that fat is made out of water and carbon dioxide. Okay. And that's why, folks, that's why they want you to sweat and breathe heavy. You expel carbon dioxide through your lungs, through your breathing. That's how you get rid of it. And your sweating expels moisture. Water,
absolutely.
And water and CO2 are what makes fat, right? And that's what they break down. Their elements break down into that for disposal: water and CO2. So, heavy breathing, running, you do cardio, and then the sweating, and that's why exercise causes weight loss. Now, there's other ways to achieve that,
Yep.
without serious exercise, which is what I did. You change
Agreed.
your diet, you take out those things that store themselves to fat instantly. You take that out, take that away, and then
Mhm.
you start reducing the moisture in your body, and then your body starts eating up that fat and getting rid of it. All right. The only time I breathe hard is when I have sexual congress. That's it. I don't want to breathe hard otherwise. For what? Why do I want to strain myself?
Agreed. Agreed.
So, Dago, what do you think of this Karen Reed? And now they're talking about the state policeman that was let go.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had a feeling that once that stuff came out about the things that he did, that we were going to see something change. Now, my understanding is that he was transferred to another department,
Mm-hmm.
but
Union protects him.
yeah, of course, but he was taken from that area, so he's bound to make his mistakes in somewhere else, or they'll put him at a desk maybe, or who knows, I don't know. But I knew it was going to be a hung jury. I felt that with all the bullshit that was going on. I'm curious to see how they retry this. That's my biggest thing right now. I'm real curious to see how and what they bring out to retry this.
They shouldn't even be able to retry it. The
I
information
know.
in that trial showed us that the police were corrupt.
That's it right there. But that's why I'm curious.
The case, even if the case should be dismissed.
I agree with that.
Dismissed by the prosecutor. Shouldn't have brought it. And then when he saw the truth, right?
Yep.
He should have asked the court for a private conference to dismiss the case.
As soon as it was brought out about that, I always forget his last name that was let go. That should have ended everything.
I'm flabbergasted by the video that was inverted.
Yes, I just showed that the other night. At the exact timestamp, and I said, "There we go, right there, broad." It's the cameras don't lie, folks.
Did you see how it was exposed though? So
what do you mean?
So the cop that was being questioned was asked by the prosecution if they
Mhm.
were ever by the right rear taillight, and he said, "No, absolutely not." And on the television screen, was that inverted picture showing them behind the left tail light.
Yep.
Okay. So he, with that picture up, looked at the jury and said, "No, absolutely not." Then when the defense questioned him and pointed out that fucking image has been mirrored,
that's it.
Right? That's how we found out that they were behind the right rear tail light.
And they flipped it around. Yep.
Dude, he admitted he knew it was mirrored.
Absolutely.
Right? So if he lies to the jury right to their face, using an image that he knows has been fabricated, he should have been he should be arrested for that, in my opinion.
100%. 100%.
Lying under oath, bro. That should be contempt of court. To jail you go.
Yes, sir. I agree. Corruption at its best. That whole thing should be thrown out. I fully agree with you.
Same thing with Kohlberger. How do you make this PCA, which in the end, remember I always argued that's all. It's everything you're going to know is going to be in there.
Oh yeah,
and what you don't know is going to be related to the FBI and their actions, right? And that's where we've always been. But
absolutely,
so we know that car wasn't Kohlberger. We know it was the 11 to 13 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yet aren't they saying that that's the vehicle that they track, suspect vehicle 1? And all the movements that they claim in the PCA, are they not telling us that it's that 2011 to 13 that made those movements? That's what they're saying. Now that we know that, right?
Yep.
Why is that case not? Why are people now in outrage against the town, the county, the fucking prosecutor, the police?
No idea. I don't understand any of these cases. Karen Reed. I don't understand this one. I don't understand how the hell Delphi still grow. None of it makes any sense anymore.
Giglio? And it's all corruption. And all we're paying attention to, folks, is whether these people are innocent or guilty, or whether they did it or didn't do it. Right?
Yeah. You got to look at the big picture behind the scenes with these cases, guys, because that's where all the bullshit lies, and they're trying to hold back and keep that all from the public eye. Which again, of course, is why mainstream media is given the script that they're given to read to us and move on, and it's all corruption and bullshit back there with all this shit. It's crazy.
There are no more reporters. There are no investigative reporters, and if they are investigative reporters, they're given the information that they need. It's like this idiot that was a crime scene investigation on the Karen Reed case. I was pointing out earlier. He asked the cop where the body was. The cop told him, and that cop never saw the body there either.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a joke.
He got the information. He's a third party fucking. Holy fuck! You mean to tell
Yep.
me, as a crime scene investigator, you wouldn't review all the photos and the statements before you would secure the crime scene, then you would actually take a look, either get there while the body is still on the ground, or get all the data that's been collected and read through it?
Right.
What the fuck kind of job do you got?
It's insane. It doesn't make any sense. Like how
Dude,
and the sad thing is it goes on every day, all over the place, all over the United States, daily, in different cities, different towns, different states, folks. And it's just ongoing. So,
well, Giglio, there was 10 years of police corruption that prevented that investigation from netting a suspect.
right. It's same thing with Delphi. There were 6 years. Same thing.
Right. So, and this happens in all of our jurisdictions. And as I said, all police are corrupt, but corruption seems to be pretty endemic inside the police department. Right?
It's very popular right now. That's facts. Because it's been allowed to go on for so long without being interrupted. Okay.
And we're not as a group of true crimers, we're not doing anything about it. We're still debating whether fucking and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but when you bring in the mistrial, when's the mistrial going to be? That shouldn't even be the question. The question should be, why aren't these police in jail?
That's the biggest
emails and letters to these fucking townships and judges, to the news media. Why aren't we sent? Did you guys even listen to that case? Did you hear the lies the police told?
Yeah, it's bad. And I think you're actually right. The guy that's been covering that and being an advocate for Karen on this case, Turtle Boy, he has already done that. Why are these? He said outraged. They're going to start picketing, I guess you call it, and writing letters to the state about why are these guys not in jail right now? Why are they not in jail?
I need to talk to this Turtle Boy. How do I get in touch with that guy?
Let me see.
Maybe I'll send some money or something.
You should just be able to log into his channel. He's been to hell and back, Sarge, over this. He's been arrested 2 or 3 times over his protesting and the shit that he's been saying and doing. So yeah, he's on the path. He is.
But he's been proven correct.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? And I'm going to be very honest with you. It was his behavior that kept me away from this case the whole time until just about the last month or so.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want to sort through all of that, and it was just too chaotic. And I'm like, whatever. We'll see what we see when the evidence comes forward.
Oh, yeah.
Even if this woman did it, there's no way she did it based on what they're saying. My only real hangup is I don't know how they argue she was driving 24 miles an hour in reverse. Where do they get that from?
I don't believe that at all. First, there's 2 reasons. Okay. One of the main reasons why is there was a blizzard out that night, and I've had people argue with me. I don't care. I've done it. I've seen it. I don't get it. There was so much snow on the ground, and I gotta believe there was what we call black ice here. You probably know what it is up there too. 24 miles an hour in reverse. You're going to go that. How the fuck do you know that? Excuse my language, but how do you know that somebody is just backing up to turn around and they're going 24 miles an hour? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, first of all. Okay. Anybody that's in that weather is going to coast backwards without even touching the gas until they stop, then pull forward again. Okay. Then to do, I still can't get this. Pisses me off every time I talk about it.
Stop and not go over the curb. I mean,
that's
if they only back up 60 feet. How many feet did it take to get up to 24 miles an hour?
It would take, especially with snow and ice on the ground, it would have to take, in my opinion, at least 20 feet to get to that speed, in my opinion.
It would take more than that, in my opinion.
20 to 30 feet.
Stopping would take even as long or longer.
I'm just trying to picture in my head.
Right?
Yeah, I agreed. And here's the other thing. To go that speed, okay, still something that I looked into. The stupid cracked taillight bullshit, that's all bullshit, okay? It's an LED tail light. The lens has inside of it, if you can see this, there's another piece of plastic that has the LED lights, the platelet that fits in there, okay? It's like this thick. To do what, if she would have hit that, first of all, she'd have hit him. It wouldn't have cracked it because it's so thick and so strong, unless it hit metal or a big, like a hammer hit it with a lot of force. You can't crack that into tiny little pieces, Sarge. There was so many different pieces they pulled out of that bag.
No,
one
it's
side,
obvious they were broke at that parking at that garage where they did the inspection.
and they added some to it. In my opinion, they pulled a piece out the size of a salad plate, and the rest of these were so small. That taillight's not even that fucking big.
Well, you
That is
want to know
so
what else?
stupid.
The defense screwed up in his closing arguments, in as much as he never told the jury that the lens is red, but the bulbs are white. And if you
Yep.
broke the red lens away, that
Yep.
rear light would be shining white.
Absolutely.
And he didn't say that in closing. That to me is an error, because
Yeah, that should have been.
You're assuming the jury would know that the tail light is lens and the bulbs are not. But when you see a red light, most people would assume red bulb.
They don't make red bulbs for those. They're clear.
Wait, but not everybody knows that.
Well,
It's a red light. I'm telling you, Dago, people think the bulb is going to be red.
no, guys.
I'm not
they're
saying
not.
that it is. I'm just saying that.
You know
way
that.
it's
Yeah.
fucked up.
People do believe that. And he should have put that in his closing arguments. I do believe that. I agree with you. I'm surprised he didn't. Wow.
Yeah, but
Those things alone.
Wait. Lacey, she backed into his arm in a side swipe.
Yeah.
According to the police, he hit his arm and that's it. Not his torso, not his hip, not his legs, not his upper body, not his side, not his back, his arm. She backed into his arm, according to the police, at 24 miles an hour and sideswiped his arm. Right?
Mind you, he was wearing a coat.
There's
too.
no way that you're going to cause the kind of injuries that we saw in that man's body, none of which are impact injuries except around his face and head.
The arm injuries are from dog bites. I've visually seen it working in fire and EMS. Multiple times I've seen those. Those are dog bites.
It was confirmed by a professional that it was done by a dog. But
absolutely.
Here's my point, though, is all that stuff tells us is how criminal or how inept these people are. And the people that did the investigation need to be targeted, not negatively or harmfully, but we as a crime community should be pointing this out over and over again. Here we go again.
Yeah.
Okay?
Agreed.
Here we go again with this nonsense of the police being either corrupt or just plain old stupid. And neither one of them are better than the other. Right?
Nope. Agreed. And I got to say, in that case, I feel like the DA and even the medical examiner had some form of involvement with this, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Well, they cherry picked the crime scene investigator.
Yep.
They got a guy with 2 years of experience and an associate's degree. Meanwhile, the two top experts in the state said that was unlikely to have been caused by a car accident or a car impact.
Guys, they were collecting blood in red Solo cups. Are you kidding me? Are you're kidding?
And the blood on his fucking clothes were multiple sources.
The
blood was from other people and his.
That's right.
What did Karen Bleed do? Run into his arm and then get out and bleed on him? Why would she get out and bleed on
him? Makes no sense. None of it. It is complete and total corruption, and it needs to be called for what it is. Every one of those people that are involved in that need fired.
They need to be brought up on charges.
Well, they need to be arrested too, but not to mention the other case that I showed all of you guys too. Most of you, just about everybody that's in here, of that the same cops are involved. The twin brother cops, in my opinion, murdered a 23-year-old woman that they groomed from the age of 13. Okay, got her pregnant, and then they found her hanging in her apartment. There's no way. These are the same cops, you guys, in Canton. The same people, and it's just they're walking free right now. This is ridiculous.
And it's the corruption or the ineptitude of the people that we entrust to enforce our laws. And our laws, folks, are unique to this country. I don't understand how. I mean, we take it for such granted, and then we let them lead us by the nose. And you watch how many streams are going to come up about that conversation the cop had with other cops about the way she looked and her colostomy bag and all the negative things he said about her being a female. Right?
Yep.
That's going to be what gets focused on, not the fact that they fabricated evidence, they lied about evidence, they didn't have evidence that was evidence. Evidence that mattered was ignored. How do you have multiple fucking source blood on the guy and not consider he didn't have contact with someone that bled on him? For God's sakes.
Right? Yeah, it's pure insanity. I don't get it anymore.
You're right with the Delphi case, the Gigolo case, the Karen Reed case, the Idaho 4 case, just to name a few.
Every one of them nowadays, every single one of them. Well, here's another one for you. I don't know if you followed it. I covered it today, but there's a maniac that a serial killer on the loose right now that escaped, Joshua Zimmerman. Okay, he tattooed his name on a woman's face and then shot her in the head. She's gone. Okay, you want to know how he escaped, Sarge? Listen to this shit. He was being walked into court in line with other prisoners, shackles, jail clothing, all that shit. He had it on. He steps out of line into an unlocked door in the courthouse, into a room, disappears into the room, walks back out of that room in complete street attire, no shackles, with his case file in his hand. Okay. And somebody for the city goes in, deleted the evidence and the photographs of him leaving and everything. It's all gone. He took the evidence for the case with him and he disappeared.
Wow.
Right. I've never seen this in my life. There is so much corruption everywhere, you guys. That's in DeSoto County, Tennessee.
And we don't even attempt to stand on our own 2 feet and send emails or put up web pages and make.
No, it's got to stop, guys. People, we have to. He's right.
But we have to start doing something. We
right.
need to organize something and take our lumps when we're wrong, but when we're right, never deter from moving forward.
Agreed. I do. And I'm going to start making phone calls. I'm going to start sending letter, whatever I need to do, because I am tired of seeing. And
what I like is there's a decent audience in here right now, believe it or not. And most of them are from Twitter or X. I'm sorry. Let me call it X.
Yes. I see there's a bunch of great people in here.
Of them from, but there's 200 of them in here from more than 200 from Twitter.
That's awesome. It's great to see you guys too.
But listen, we need someone that can make web pages, people that can screw around with memes, and just your spare time. But like you want a web page where we can set up petitions, and then I'll help, and others can help get the emails of the agencies that are involved that need these petitions sent to them, right?
Yep.
And copy the defense attorneys, copy the prosecution, copy the mayor, copy the governor, copy all these people in these jurisdictions, and say this is unacceptable.
Yep.
We're a concerned group of Americans. This has to stop. You got a guy in here telling you they've been investigating their own police department for 16 months.
Mm-hmm.
And that police department has been prosecuting this case for that period of time.
Yes, sir.
Right? And none of these people have been, oh my God.
It's insane. It is. And this is, we need law enforcement to protect and serve. Okay. They haven't done that for a long time. That is all we need. And they're not doing it.
I think we should set up a web page where if you see a police officer speed, and take the car number and the time of day and add it to the web page.
100%.
Right? And start sending it, because they shouldn't be doing that either.
Nope. They should be held accountable to follow the same law.
35. You're supposed to be the law enforcement officer, but the best way to enforce law is be the example of that.
Be the example. Lead by example. That's right.
That's what this country was supposed to be doing. We lead the world by example. Instead, here we are. There's 40 million people enslaved to provide batteries and other minerals that make your phones and computers work, and not a one of us do anything about it.
100%.
Why are we going after that? Sending letters to Intel and to their engineering department, to their salespeople, to their. You got to be kidding me! Cut it out.
Every bit of it. And I'll be honest with you guys, and I'm probably going to get some non-likes because of this. But at this point, in fact, in regards to Sebastian's case, I think TBI needs to be called to attention. Okay. TBI has not done so much in so many cases that this is ridiculous. They should have been able to find something at this point in this case, and they have nothing. This is insane to me. They're too lackadaisy, and the ones that are doing their jobs are doing it corrupt. Okay. It's just enough, guys. It's enough. And we are the only people that can say or do anything about it, because we're the ones that pay their bills.
Not just that. You guys have no idea that you could control the mainstream media. You get 10 million people that are focused on an issue or common issues, okay? And they're all willing to stand up and sign a petition, or they're all willing to send emails or sign a mass emailing, right?
Yes.
You get millions of people to do that. If we all just start banding together, it will grow. Then become the talk of the town. Not named individually, not you as a person, the whole basis of what you're doing.
The whole basis of it. Yeah.
Right? They're going to get reports to the state police are requesting people stop emailing them. And they're
Absolutely.
being and then copies of the emails you send them to the news station, because they're going to come forward and ask you to stop. And I'm not saying you do anything that would interrupt their ability to actually perform their duties.
No.
But I am saying they need a whole earful of this has to stop.
Agreed.
Your police need to be arrested for what they said on the stand of the Karen Reed trial.
Yes,
The
sir.
police that are investigating Koberger need to be pulled off of duty and investigated, terminated, and or arrested. What
They need to be fired. Yes, the guy that sat on stand that was answering questions, I can't pain. I don't know. The answers were, I can't recall. I can't recall. Then you're not doing your job. You're fired. That's how that works, guys. You know, it's bullshit.
Yeah, like I said, if you order a pizza and you call back and say, I asked for sausage, onion, pepperoni, cheese, and it showed up with just cheese, and the guy said, I don't remember you saying that. I don't remember you probably wouldn't go back there and buy another pizza.
Exactly. We pay these paychecks, guys. They work for us. That's what I don't understand about that. That's why I don't understand how this is allowed to be. Right. The police departments, the law enforcement works for us. The state government, the city government, they all work for us.
It is all us. It's not even that they work for us. It is us. It's
it's us too. That's true. I'm just saying.
No, it is us. It literally is us, the people that run these agencies and do these things, right? And so if they're not accountable to the standards that are laid down in the Constitution or in the basic rule book of their job, then they should be held to some kind of account, just like you would be at the place you work.
Exactly, Sarge. When they hire police officers and judges and this and that, and when they bring them on to do their jobs, what is the first thing they do? They have to take an oath, right?
Right.
To uphold the Constitution.
Right.
They don't do it. They're breaking that oath. That alone should terminate their position, in my opinion. The first time you do not uphold that oath, you're done. And I don't care what you say about what anybody says about, well, things had to change. And that was how many years ago, and now it's modern times. Bullshit. It's what the country's based off of.
Right.
It's enough. It's enough. When I don't feel safe to call the police anymore and know that they're going to do their jobs, that's not how I want to live.
No, it's not how we should be living. That's not America.
Agreed.
We're supposed to be able to trust one another, man.
That's right.
The thing is, none of that is going to happen unless you can't just expect it and then be devastated when the trust is broken.
No,
you need to stand up when it's broken and call it out.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I do that with friends. I do that with anybody I associate with in business. Don't tell me one thing and do another, because now we have to have a conversation about that. And I demand you make it right. Yep. I'm not expecting anything from you. I'm telling you. Otherwise, there'll be no more interaction with us.
That's how that works. That is how that works. That's fact.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with living that way. It keeps you. That's why I can always say I have an awesome life. Man. I really do. And the people I'm around, I trust, and even if they're like with about everybody I know, there's always been a little bit of tension or falling out or for whatever reason, but it always pans out and things happen. Move on, right. It's like it never happened, right?
That's exactly it.
You should, if you're associated with people, be able to speak your mind and speak whatever's your discomfort about it, if it exists. If not, that's perfect too. There necessarily need not be any discomfort in any relationship.
No, and if there is a difference, you work through it, you deal with it, and you move forward. That's all there is.
Right.
Facts.
And I'm just very, very sad that we as a group of people, especially true crime, are so down on politics. But everything you're dealing here with is political.
It is. If you look at it for what it is
from politics, right?
Yeah, if you look at it for what it is, it's absolutely political based.
How about governors of these states seeing how their police officers carried out an investigation? How about the fact that these people could rightfully be guilty of what they're accused of, but the process under which they were arrested and the stories they told to get the arrest are false.
That's the problem with that is they don't want to rock the boat because they don't want to They don't want to
Your
sacrifice
governor should
their.
be standing up and getting in front of the bullhorn. That's what the hell the governor's got the microphone for.
Absolutely, I do
And he
agree.
should be
They're
calling
afraid.
out these troopers, right?
All they seem to care about anymore is who's voting for them, and if they rock the boat, guess what's not going to happen? They're not going to get their votes. That's bullshit.
Right.
That's not what it's about.
Well, there's that. Yeah, there's always that. But in your community schools and a lot of people would agree. Look, I think sex education is an important part of a person's life, but I don't think that should happen before the age of puberty.
No, of course not.
Right?
Definitely,
I think that's a fair assessment, right? I agree. You don't want any particular brand of religion in school. I don't have an issue with that. All right, I just don't. Okay, I can go along with that. I'll teach religion at home and at church, right? I have no problem. There's a place for everything.
Yeah, but yes, you're right. But they also shouldn't shove another.
Wait. That's what I said. They shouldn't be shoving any kind of sexual stuff or adult stuff or political.
No,
stuff
right? Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Inappropriate material should not be allowed at all. Right?
No, and that's absolutely. I do agree. Right?
And I think anybody would agree with that. But you're getting the other side that doesn't want to hear our arguments because what do? We just complain about it on social media. But imagine if a couple 100,000 people emailed the school that they were aware of that were doing things with 6 years old and presenting things to 6 years old that we all seem to think is just a little fucking early, and we start notifying them of our displeasure and asking them to stop that.
Exactly.
I mean, you're not asking to do harm. You're not asking for anything except a common fucking ground of just decent basic morals. Don't show 6-year-olds sexual stuff.
I'll give you an example. You were talking about religion and stuff like that, right? So when my adult kids were in, I think it was middle school, they started teaching about the Big Bang Theory and evolution and all that. And that's great. That's fine. My kids came home and told me that they didn't believe in God anymore. Okay. Now we teach religion in home. We don't worry about it being taught in school, but that's another problem. Because most of their generation came home from school and said, there's no God. We came from the Big Bang or evolution. We were monkeys and this and everything else. When you teach something in your home from birth, we were all raised, especially I know you were because we're the same nationality. Okay. And I know where most of it probably comes from. But the thing is that's not their right to take that away from them and give them that option. They should show both options, in my opinion. If it's because I argued with the school for 3 months about this. Well, that's our curriculum. That's their curriculum. I said, I don't care.
Well, I just would simply say to my child when they came home with it, I'd say, that's a very, very good argument, and it does make a lot of sense.
Yes, that's what we did.
Did they tell you what caused the Big Bang?
I don't think they do teach that, to be honest.
Wait. Do they don't tell you what caused the Big Bang, right?
Right.
They don't know what caused the Big Bang.
Exactly.
Right. So it definitely could be a God that did that.
100%. That's what I said.
That's exactly how you can accept what they're saying, right? And still get forth your point without causing any argument, and there need not be a disagreement.
Right.
They cannot tell you what caused the Big Bang. Okay. And we understand that when God said, let there be light, couldn't that be the Big Bang?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it where light first entered the universe?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that the birth of the universe? Okay. So they know what they know, but we believe in what we believe because we think that, as human beings, we're much more than just the material things around us.
Of course.
Right? We have a soul.
Right.
We die. We think we die.
Right.
We live
and I don't have a problem with teachings like that, but don't make them believe that's their only choice. Do you know what I mean? That's what the problem was.
And people need to give that. But again, see, what you're pointing out on this discussion is discussions that are supposed to be had rather than people arguing and getting into each other's face. And I believe in evolution. Listen, I don't object to your belief in evolution. I'm just asking you to just consider respecting my belief that I consider the Big Bang, let there be light. Okay.
Thank you.
I consider that, and you should respect that. Let's talk about something else now, because there is some proof of evolution. If a chicken used to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? You can argue it evolved from what it was to what it is. I can see the argument of that. I could see,
No,
you know,
that makes
that
sense.
some animals went from the sea and came up on the land. I could see that happening, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So there's room for evolution to be real.
No, I'm not, and I wasn't denying that at all. But it all started from somewhere else, and it started from
Right.
molecules or what. Okay, fine.
Well, they
You know,
got
and I just
social engineering. Instead of educating, they're trying to engineer a
that's
social
it right
view.
there. That's it right there. Thank
And
you.
that's what you're. And listen, this is. I'm glad that we had this little conversation because I'm going to say this because we're at the 10 o'clock hour.
Yes.
It's that social programming that causes all of you to think the things I say aren't possible or no one will do them. And I'm telling you, it doesn't take a trigger of millions to get this going. It could start out with a few and turn into hundreds and thousands and hundreds of thousands, which lead to millions and millions and right.
Yes, sir.
That's how it works, folks. But it is funny almost to the person when I say some of the things I say, some of the issues we should be attacking and addressing and putting our efforts into. And no one's going to want to do that. Well, I don't know why people don't want to do the right thing. That's the question you should ask each other. Why don't you want to do the right thing? What do you have to lose? Fair enough.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Dago, I'm glad you came up. I got a couple of rips with the car I had pre-planned. I got a couple of people I got to break hearts on.
Go tear up that road, sir. I appreciate you. I always appreciate you bringing me up. Always appreciate it. Always a good conversation.
Again tomorrow. And hey, we'll talk again.
Sounds good, sir. Have a great night. Thank you for having me. Everybody in the chat, if I don't see it, have a great, wonderful night. Take care.